Welcome to the 𝒃𝒆𝒍𝒐𝒘 crypto trading show. That's the best show of all shows on all of YouTube. New viewers, this channel addresses the two big mistakes that you are making. But in all seriousness, it does. First, you don't know what you're doing when you hit buy, and you, in specific regards to understanding whether or not you have a statistically probable winning trade. I know that's the biggest mistake, second biggest mistake that new folks are doing. And second, I address the idea that you are scared to sell. And honestly, you probably haven't sold anything. And when you did, the price probably went up right after, right? So I teach you how to take profits like a boss, and all based off of a safe entry and a statistically probable winning trade. So with that said, if you don't understand something I say like EMA or 4 hour 21 or something like that, look in my library section. I have free content. It goes over the basics of trading, so you can not only understand my channel, but any other channel that talks, price action instead of white papers, because white papers, it's good, fundamentals are good and everything, especially with Bitcoin getting accepted as legal tender in a country now or two, but it doesn't address those two biggest problems that you're having. So Cryptillion, actually this is a Cryptillion. This is the official Cryptillion t-shirt. So patrons, I guess previous VIPs of May, I will look back and try to get a hold, even if you have moved tiers recently, I will try to make it so you get a t-shirt here. I got a lot of catching up to do, but I made a promise to you, and I don't plan on failing that promise, even though I missed my time frame. So, and there was one person. If you are out there, you saw my tabs up here that said, if you see these, you get a free t-shirt. And I asked you to direct message me on Twitter. I didn't see your message, but I don't know if you can get a hold of me. I want to send you a t-shirt too, even though it was like a month ago, I just didn't have the t-shirt. So if you're out there, send me, I will recheck that it was you. I'll go back to that video if I can find it, and we'll go from there. So anyway, I have bad news today. I don't like what the market is freaking doing here, folks. I don't like this, and it's all based off of Ethereum here. So I don't like what I'm seeing. This is not what I want to see here. So similar to how, so new viewers, I have my ribbons on. This is kind of like paid for content off of Patreon, but I'm going to use it as an example, then switch back to normal EMAs if you're not part of the community. But Bitcoin here, this is the 4 hour, I think, my midterm. Let's go to my mid ribbons. I was confident that Bitcoin was just, testing this gray line and then bouncing off of it nicely, but then it broke down. All right. And I missed several things with this. And, I don't have perfect TA, and I don't claim to trade perfectly. Nobody does. However, I kind of feel that I failed you on that. So I don't want to fail you again on a potential big drop here. I don't know, like my last video said, I have a feeling that Ethereum could simply, so if you haven't watched my last video, watch it, seriously, on ×2 speed, before you watch this one, if you haven't watched that, but this will make way more sense. But Ethereum's kind of cooking out to potentially follow that third most probable or second most probable that I was guessing, that Ethereum might be just lagging Bitcoin, and it might go down farther. Or revisit its $1,700 low here, and the charts are cooking up to kind of look like it, and I think it's going to drag Bitcoin down with it. Hopefully not farther than 30K, but I don't know. I don't like what I'm seeing. So let me explain this here. Let me expand this a little bit. So if you can zoom your eyes in on here and this associated with it time frame wise here. And let me get my microphone a little bit more situated so I can type. So something I missed is that Bitcoin, when it was testing this area, even though it was making higher highs, the 4 hour was getting farther away from the green line, which means if you're making higher highs on the 4 hour time frame and lower RSI, that's bearish divergence.
while and if I flip to the 1 hour long-term ribbons, it was even more obvious that per this gray line, Bitcoin clearly was having trouble staying above, and on this very last one, the ribbons fell under it, and Stokes were completely up and tired, and on the 1 hour, the RSI also failed to get to the green line, and RSI was falling as price was essentially making smaller, higher highs this whole time, and then Bitcoin fell, and that is primarily what I missed. And that's the importance of looking at lots of different time frames. You know, early in my channel, I let you know it's kind of like a hologram. You walk past one of those pictures that essentially moves, and you see, you know, something a little bit different as you go along. That's pretty much what it means, you know, during trading is you have to look at a lot of different time frames, and I simply failed to do that sufficiently, and I missed, I don't expect myself to have been able to call that drop or even the level to which it dropped. However, I should have at least postulated it and made it a what if or the third most probable. I totally missed it. So again, I don't want to miss it this time, and I'm kind of getting scared here. And so I decided to hold a decent amount of tether. Recently, I already let my Patreon community know, and send a personal message to, my top tier folks here. But, and so, I mean, look at Ethereum. It looks even weaker per this gray line, and it just barely peeked its head above the gray line, and Stokes worked all the way up, and it's getting tired, and it was making a few higher highs as RSI was going down, bearish divergence on the 1 hour. I don't know. It almost looks like a drop is coming. Like soon, today, tomorrow, soon. Honestly, this doesn't look good. This doesn't look good on the shorter time frames, and a lot of times, as the larger time frames are working themselves out, meaning, on the weekly, the RSI and the Stokes are trying to reset and all that stuff. I mean, the smaller time frames can wiggle around thousands and thousands of dollars on Bitcoin, or $1,000 on Ethereum while they still work themselves out. And as long as it snaps back within the week, weekly time frames don't really move much. And it almost looks like we might have something fast coming up here that is in the down direction. And honestly, they could just continue pulling down the longer time frames. The RSI of the weekly, it might want to come all the way down to the white line. It might want to hit this, folks. That might be what's about ready to happen on Ethereum, essentially lagging Bitcoin. See how Bitcoin, so now I'm on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's already done it. Ethereum hasn't. And per my, theory of what's possible, I don't know, the shorter time frames are kind of looking like they want to pull the larger time frame on Ethereum this direction, and what that would mean for Bitcoin, I honestly don't know, but I would imagine it. So I'm back on Bitcoin RSI. It makes me think that it might pull Bitcoin down with it here. I don't know. I mean, Bitcoin might make new lows. It might revisit 31K. It might revisit 30K. It might only revisit 34K, but I don't know. I'm kind of getting scared right now. So if we can go to our more normal EMAs, which are available on my how to set up a chart video. If you want to set up your chart like me and a lot of other traders here on crypto YouTube, which I've essentially, taken what I've seen from the very competent people from whom I've learned over the last 4 years and essentially emulated a few of their styles, mashed it together. And if you set your chart like mine, you'll be able to follow a lot more people who aren't just pattern traders, which I'm not for sure if I recommend those people personally. But anyway, let me take off some of these. Let me take off this. Okay, so I only have a few lines. I mean, Ethereum looks like it's getting sandwiched. So kind of like I've said in the, and I think I said this on one of the videos, what I think Ethereum's going to do, it's going to get sandwiched between the 10 and the 21, and that's exactly what is happening. Exactly as I predicted, right? But it happens all the time. That wasn't a difficult prediction, and I think I said that when Ethereum was probably right here. I said it's going to get sandwiched because it's just a very, 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 very common play. It's extremely common play after a correction. I mean, kind of like it did here. So if we can analyze, whether this looks strong, whether it wants to break up, because it's going to get sandwiched out. It's going to be it's that soap bar, right? It's the soap bar squeeze play. The small time frames in my ribbon saying it looks weak. All right. The normal EMAs, I mean, Bitcoin's, so this white line essentially is like the neutral zone on RSI, which is relative strength. It's not breaking above that. And the RSI, which is the green line, is barely staying above its moving average, which is the white line. And I don't know. I think it's getting ready to get rejected and head back down here. Maybe maybe form a trend line, something like this, and come down here. And this is ETH on the daily, which then could cascade in not a good way Ethereum's weekly to come down all the way to here. Now, what would be potentially good about that in terms of recovery mode is that if Ethereum does make a lower low, but its daily RSI here creates a higher low, something like this, and this low would be here. Let me make this green so it makes a hell of a lot more sense. There you go. Then, this low right here would then be lower than, this low here would be higher than that low, although price at this level would be lower, which that's the definition of bullish divergence is RSI makes higher lows as price makes lower lows. And what that would look like on the chart is, and this is Ethereum on the daily, is Ethereum could come all the way down to this origin line down here at 1675. I mean, I don't know. It kind of looks like that's what it's targeting. I don't know. I don't like this posturing right now. I did yesterday, but I don't know. Maybe I just woke up like a bitch bear, like, I don't know. But this is what I'm feeling, and my feeling is typically right, having stared at more than it's got a better than 50%. I have a decent edge just by looking at a chart and saying this looks good, this looks bad, without even looking at RSI. I can just tell by the price. I don't, all of this looks pretty good and fair, but for some reason I just don't like what's going on here. It just doesn't look like the soap bar is going to pop up to me. I don't know why. Just by looking at candles and price, but it doesn't look like it's going to do it. And when you look at RSI and stuff and all these other clues, it looks like it's getting rejected from that. And then you have other clues like the weekly. So I'm on Ethereum RSI right now. The weekly has yet, to potentially come all the way down here to this white line. I mean, and then you have, technicals in the charts kind of saying the same thing. If you look at the weekly candles here, this looks strong. No, this looks, sideways and hesitant, and it almost looks like this cross is going to, I don't know. It looks like it might play out, even though I wasn't thinking it would. Typically, these crosses after a big washout, whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum, typically those are some of the best times to buy. And if you want to go over that here, I will show you. This is Bitcoin. I will show you here, right here. So you had a big washout, and this cross had just happened, right? Essentially, well, I guess that cross did initiate that. But after this cross, price, was extremely suppressed, had a big washout, and this wasn't an awesome time to buy. When you, conversely though, when you have not had a big washout, and what I mean by this is Bitcoin price went from 4K all the way up to 14K, got way too hot, way too fast. It needed to correct pretty heavily, and through all this time here, it simply didn't. It just didn't have a washout, and then you had this cross here, and it still didn't wash out. So when it had this bull trap, then it washed out, right? So post washout after a cross, that's typically a fantastic time to buy. Let's see if we can find another example of this. Here we go. So already had a washout, big drop. The cross happened, and then price, ended up being a good time to buy on a mid-term scale during this bear market. Of course, it was a dead cat bounce, but the price doubled, right? So even during a bear market, like if you've had a washout or a washout's already happened, oftentimes that cross leads to pretty good buys. And we're trying to relate this to 2013, and this cross never happened in 2013. It didn't happen. And this is kind of worrying me right now. Even though typically it's after a washout, price, I don't know. It just, this doesn't look good. In the end, could price just go like this and recover really nicely after the cross? And maybe that's what Bitcoin is essentially waiting for before the buyers step in. Sure. And I'm on Bitcoin right now, and it's going to apply, this doesn't apply perfectly to Ethereum, does it? Yeah, because this cross isn't quite yet to happen. So I think Ethereum doesn't look good. Bitcoin doesn't look good. But the one thing going for this now is that it is possible that buyers simply will not step in, and that is what I'm essentially interpreting in the charts of not strong. I think buyers are waiting to step in until they see price action after this cross is fully confirmed. And if price doesn't crash, then they will step in, and the result of that, all right, would be something similar to this: a very nice, run, which led to the beginning of the bull market essentially, or in this case, it could lead to the continuation of this current bull market. So it is possible. What I'm seeing in the charts is not a potential drop, but rather the obvious hesitation of buyers stepping in until they can interpret what's going to happen with this cross. And this cross is essentially the inverse of what my patrons and I had been hunting in February and March. Is the exact opposite. We were hunting this cross up here. It's not a golden cross or anything like that, but it's a bullish cross, and almost 100% of altcoins screamed up after that happened. So I don't know. So in short, I am not 100% sure what is going to happen here. Price could go up or price could go down, right? So, which people who make fun of TA folks, real quick. Yes, price could go up or price could go down. That's what TA is all about. The difference, the thing that you're not understanding, folks who make fun of TA, is that we enter trades when we feel that the charts are saying we have a statistical edge of entering a probable trade. In moments like this, where I cannot determine that I have a probable trade, I become flat. I hold Tether or a stable coin or US dollars or something, and I wait until I have an edge. Does that make sense? And over time, even if I'm right only 6 out of 10 times, I make money over time. Profitability over time, not perfect trading every time. And the way to get closer and closer to perfect trading, first off, is to not try to trade perfectly, but rather is to only trade when you have confidence that you have a statistically probable, winning setup. And right now, folks, I just can't tell. My gut's saying down, but it's not super confident, and my gut is definitely not saying up. But I simply can't tell. So I decided, on a personal level, to get flat. Sell a lot of my my nimble holdings. So I do have some hodl positions that I'm not overly concerned about because I've already been through a bear market, and I was one of those 2017 idiots, new retail investors in 2017 who rode 3 coins all the way down, watched them lose 99% of their value. I dollar cost averaged in 2019 after I was nearly certain the bottom was in, which was a good call. I literally bought the bottom on several coins. Including D10ema, which I've mentioned on my channel a few times, and Viacoin, and I didn't get Viacoin's exact bottom. I think it went down to 14 cents, but I was buying it at 19 to 24 cents, something like that. So some of those coins I'm not even going to touch because I've accumulated over the years, so I'm good. But right now, on some of my trading accounts that are for small alts, even though I have pretty big unrealized losses on the portion of my account that I decided to hodl through this, thinking that we're going to bounce back fairly well, or over the next couple months. I don't know. I might 20 bag this at lower levels just to try to catch, to have some tether available to catch altcoins even lower. So let's say for example, you have an altcoin. Let's just go like this. Let's pick one that's been battered. No, actually Cardano looks great. Let's take an altcoin that's been battered that I personally like. Okay, so it's had a pretty rough time here. Even if you bought, for example, ADB here, right? So this asset here, and now it's here, and so you'd be selling at a loss, for example, right? If you were to only, for example, Pokemon cards, entertainment only, get rid of 20% of your Pokemon cards that are ADB Pokemon cards, selling at a loss, okay, and then price continued south and you bought lower, now, even though you sold at a loss, you simply have more ADB because you sold higher and bought lower. Did you sell higher than this? No. But you sold higher than this level. Now you literally have more crypto, even selling at a loss. And so during times like this, instead of trading for more dollar value, even though that's the end goal, obviously, you were trying to change lives, but in sideways markets, sometimes trading for more crypto, even if crypto is going down with the confidence that we're not entering a nasty bear market here, which then getting flat and not being in coins at all is probably the best choice. So if you're confident that this is not a bear market, accumulating more crypto instead of being focused on the dollar value is sometimes the winning strategy, or a winning strategy. Now, obviously, if you can trade well enough to increase the dollar value too, then you're obviously accumulating much more crypto, significantly more crypto. However, I thought to explain this because I might, go into my not my super long-term holdings from 2017 and all that stuff, which I've dollar cost average, but the other stuff that I bought since February, and I bought things pretty low. I might 20 bag some at this low point to try to hold some tether to buy back slightly lower. Even if it's 15% lower, I would still have more of that crypto. I'm contemplating that right now, but I'm not necessarily suggesting that to you all, but I wanted to let you know what I'm thinking in light of this, okay? So is there a threshold that I would wait for to try to determine, okay, when am I going to pull the trigger on that or not? I really don't know, folks. However, this is a very uncertain, this is kind of like a no trade zone, but it looks bad. So if you are holding tether right now, or a significant amount, like 30% of your portfolio in tether, I mean, this doesn't, to me, look like a confident market to deploy that tether or use tether or your US dollars to buy crypto, but rather to continue being flat and try to catch lower prices. So I'm sorry that I'm being a bear here. I know a lot of you don't like it. However, the markets don't care what you like. They don't care what I like. I like, $100,000 Bitcoin too, right? But the market just doesn't care what we want or what we like. So I want to try to prepare you for what is very, very, very possibly, I don't know if it's likely over 50% chance, because I can't calculate that right now. I'm not getting that, I don't feel like I have a statistical edge, obviously, but I don't know, folks. You might want to get nimble right now and be prepared for a potential drop. And that drop might start with Ethereum here. So, I just really don't like what I'm seeing, folks. And as a recap, what might be happening is that buyers simply might be waiting to step in. And all I'm freaking out about is buyers remaining sideliners, and the sell pressure is simply, equal to the buy pressure, even though those vectors aren't equal. Let's see here. Buyers, sellers, vectors about equal right now, and the buyer pressure will not increase until this crosses and price doesn't go down too much, then they'll step in. However, what might happen is, since there's clearly not buy pressure here, and those potential buyers are currently sideliners, I mean, also what could happen is this cross could happen. These sideliners could become sellers, kind of like I'm kind of playing right now too. And that would bring price down significantly on the whole crypto market. So this exact concept, the idea that the market is sideways, right? Which means most people are sideliners. The buy pressure is not great, so this buy pressure is not great, and neither is the sell pressure. And I simply can't determine if this pressure here or if that pressure there, or let me not make arrows. I can't tell if buy pressure or sell pressure will increase significantly first. Okay, and so on a market psychology basis, again, for those folks who don't understand TA, that's essentially what your statistical edge is. You're trying to determine which group of people will increase relative to the other group. You know, if the buy vector will get bigger faster or the sell vector will be bigger faster, and how confident you are in that guess with a statistical edge. So that's all I got for you. I don't like what I'm seeing, folks. Let me see if there's anything else on the 2-day real quick on the normal EMAs here. Yeah, I mean, just Ethereum's getting rejected by both its 10 and its 21. You know, Stokes on the 2-day look really tired. Even though they are avoiding the bearish control zone, that's not bad, but this looks really tired, folks. I mean, let's try to look at what happened last time. So you had... Yeah, I mean, last time, the very last time, Ethereum, you know, rejected the bearish control zone, but then looked tired thereafter. So let me zoom in on this so you can see what I'm saying. So this dip right here, it avoided the bearish control zone on the 2-day Stokes on Ethereum. And then Stokes got tired thereafter, and then price fell. So if we can go to December 2019 and see what happened in price there, that could be something similar to what we're about ready to see here. Because it's looking pretty darn similar. Yeah, I mean, because Ethereum already had some really big dumps, and then it made a lower low. And the Stokes are looking pretty similar. So if we can go to Bitcoin on the 2-day here, and this is why it's good to go across timeframes. I'm doing this on the fly here. So the 2-day on Bitcoin has already crossed down, getting really tired. Has it acted like this before? It did. So and this might be the exact same month, actually. Damn it. Yeah, this doesn't look good, folks. On almost any time frame. So it rejected the bearish control zone twice, got tired again, and that was January 2018. And you know, hopefully you know what that was. That was the big drop. That was the beginning of a monstrous drop. I don't know. And again, now another potential, you know, savior of this, something that could turn this around, is that it's all but confirmed, right? I mean, pretty much confirmed that this price action is orchestrated. So here's what I want to leave you with. Maybe I shouldn't be so bearish here, because even though the charts don't look good, it's possible that this is still being completely orchestrated, just like this here, this was orchestrated to get people to think long, right? So that these institutions could take on shorts, because they can't take on enough shorts unless people are longing. So they got people more and more confident. They essentially, you know, they also released news at the correct times. They had they stimulated Ethereum's rise up, Cardano's rise up, right, as Bitcoin was doing all this to get people bullish on the market in general. You know, because if Ethereum and Cardano are looking hot, then, you know, when Bitcoin was here, he had no reason to believe that Bitcoin wasn't going to start charging up, because the market was looking like it was good right then, right? And it was pretty much an orchestrated event to get people bullish. This could be an orchestrated event to get people bearish before it moves up significantly. So I wanted to leave you with that good thought that this could be an orchestrated event. And in this orchestrated event, you know, price might dip down right back to 31.5 or something, and Bitcoin might test its daily 200. And when that happens, I mean, Ethereum could come back all the way down to 1,700 or 2,000. It might stop at its 2-day 89 or its weekly. Let's see, what would that be? No, it might go lower, folks. I don't know. I don't know if Ethereum does take a poop. I mean, Bitcoin's gonna go below 30K. I just don't see Bitcoin staying strong when Ethereum doesn't, because Ethereum's leading the market. But I wanted to leave you with a positive note that it is very, I don't know if it's likely, but it's very, very possible that this is being, potentially orchestrated right now to make me feel the way I'm feeling, just like when Bitcoin, and I was fooled with this Wyckoff pattern. The Wyckoff pattern definitely got me. When Bitcoin was about here and Ethereum and Cardano was strong, I was fooled to think that the market was long. So it's possible I'm simply being fooled that the market's short, or market's weak right now. So in that case, be nimble and don't be scared to get flat if you're not already. And simply be prepared. So having this thought in your mind without being prepared won't do anything, right? You have to be prepared for it and hopefully be ready to go on a shopping spree if things really drop, okay? Now, do you need to sell all of your crypto to do that? No, I'm not suggesting that at all. Personally, I'm not even doing that. Except on a couple of my trading accounts, I did get completely flat, but not my long-term, longer-term positions that I want to hold for the rest of the year or into next year, something to that effect. I haven't sold any of those, but my trading positions where I actively trade monetary coins like Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin and Dash and all that stuff in Monero, I'm totally flat right now because I got scared out. because I don't feel like I have an edge. All right, so you can do what you guys want. That's what I'm doing, and that's all I got for you. So if you now, I'm not saying you like bearish news, but if you like the potential of being prepared for a shopping spree, you like the content in general, and you go ahead and if you're new to this, go look at my previous videos and definitely check out my library videos. Watch it all on ×2 speed, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up for me, help the algo, and if you end up subscribing, let me know whether you want to be a cryptillion or a crypto crackhead. Those crypto pronouns are both gender neutral and gender fluid, and you just got 25% timified.